What is up, everybody? I'm No Lex Given here with your afternoon snap, and today we're going to take a look at a tournament that I played in over the weekend using this deck, Zabu. Great stuff. Basically, I think Zabu plus Darkhawk is one of the most powerful interactions in Marvel Snap, and I think that it's so powerful that I'm expecting a lot of other people to play it. So I've got a lot of other cards, and I've tried to make this deck as powerful as I possibly can for the mirror. And if we take a look at the metagame breakdown of this event, over 22% of the players, over 1/5 of the players are playing Darkhawk. Good stuff. Here's some of the other decks that people are running. So I call this deck Zabu Great Stuff. It's one level higher than just Zabu Good Stuff. We've got Rogue and Super Scroll to mess with both Zabu and Darkhawk in those mirror matches. And then I'm also playing Sarah, which is a card that's kind of fallen a little bit out of favor in these lists recently, but the main idea behind both Zabu and Sarah is you make sure that your opponent has priority going into that final turn of the game, which means that your Shang-Chi will always be able to put in some work. And then, of course, you can also surprise your opponents because they don't know exactly where you're going to put your power. So that was the idea behind it. Unfortunately, through 8 rounds in this event, I never wound up playing against a Zabu Good Stuff deck once, but we were still able to make some good stuff happen. Enjoy. We are playing up against, I have to change my deck list as well. But we are playing up against a high Evo Lockjaw deck, which I wasn't super excited to see. However, it is also a Thanos deck. I'll run through the list here real quick. Wasp, Misty Knight, Okoye, Lockjaw, Cyclops, Shang-Chi, High Evo, The Thing, Spider-Woman, Abomination, Thanos, Hulk. So a little bit of a spicier deck. Darkhawk going to be very, very good with the stones in my opponent's deck, and I've got the turn 1 Zabu. Well, turn 2 Zabu, but I drew it on turn 1. So I'm going to snap. Reality Stone gets rid of Nova Roma. Asteroid M, not a great location for my deck, but I should be able to... Wow, okay, I should be able to dump a bunch of stuff here then. They gotta know that Citadel is fantastic for me, and they've already used the Reality Stone. Let's play Zabu. Now, we're not going to be able to make, like, incredible use of that immediately. However, that does mean that Darkhawk will win us the... Wow. Okay. I get to play turn 3 Sarah into Citadel. I get to Spider-Ham, but they get to play something this turn, so Spider-Ham isn't a huge deal. And my opponent also has priority. So I think I want to save my Cosmo then with that. Everything will cost 1 from here on out, so I'm not super concerned with being able to play everything. I'll be able to play out my entire hand basically next turn, though I don't mind battling a little bit for priority. Let's just play Rock Slide here, I think. Give my opponent a little bit of rocks. They're going to run out a Hulk immediately. So I can Shang-Chi the Hulk, I can Spider-Man, or Spider-Ham them. But I think I'm going to wait and play like... I mean, we realistically want to hit... We want to hit Hulk. So Rogue doesn't steal Hulk's ability anymore. We do have priority, like I said. We can only Cosmo into Asteroid M, though, so that's kind of interesting. Could just Shang-Chi the Hulk to get it over with. But that seems like a nice little surprise as well. I will just straight up be able to play 6 things on the final turn. But I know I'm going to be able to Shang-Chi this. Anyways, I'm playing Spider-Ham here, so that way I can maybe hit Spider-Woman from my opponent. I don't think that Rogue really does too much against their deck. Alright, we hit their Thanos, which turns off Power Stone. Then they're going to Lockjaw and get rid of Wasp. Alright, so we shut off Power Stone. We could also shut it off with Rogue and other things. I mean, Darkhawk's going to be insanely big in the Citadel, to the point where I almost don't really have to even worry about it. I'm just going to look over my opponent's deck again. Wasp, Misty Knight, Okoye, Lockjaw, Cyclops, High Evo, The Thing, Spider-Woman, A-Bomb, Thanos, Hulk. It doesn't seem like I have to rush out any of these cards, that I can play Darkhawk into Citadel and win easily for 12 more points, and I can play Shang-Chi into Project Peg easily on the final turn as well. So I'm just going to hold everything here. They Spider-Woman. It, of course, did not get taken by the Spider-Ham. And now I just get to dump hand, which seems quite good. I might fill up Asteroid M. I mean, it's not like they have the... it's not like they have a Shang-Chi either that I'm worried about, nor could they ever Shang-Chi me because they have priority. I think we're fine. I think this is a nice, easy one to kick off the day. Darkhawk, I said 12 power. It's going to be for 24 power. Yeah, they're going to get out of there. Some nice conservative play by my opponent there. I think I played that conservatively too, considering I didn't play anything, but it felt stressful. It felt like something could have gone wrong by not playing anything in my hand. Now, one thing I did want to say, I am foregoing Luke Cage in this version of the deck, and Killmonger, for more tools in the mirror, but I think the Darkhawk just by itself is just like hopefully enough in the face of Thanos. That's going to really limit my opponent's ability to drop stones. So the plan here is Rock Slide into Sarah, into Shang-Chi, Darkhawk. I'll have to consider later on if I want to drop Spider-Ham, but I could always do that next turn instead. I drew the Shang-Chi, so this is just going to be Rock Slide into Sarah, into Shang-Chi, Darkhawk. Rock Slide, unlikely to be super disruptive here. My opponent already was 7 cards in hand, so they have to play something. Cyclops is quite a good play. And that hopefully is going to lead to my opponent having priority. Unfortunately, we now have priority, and my opponent could drop a large Hulk here. So that's definitely a little bit spooky. Darkhawk is for 22, though. So now that we do not have... or now that we do have priority, I think I'm just going to drop 28 power on the final turn, and that should beat Hulk. So, seems okay. Hey, it's even 30 total power on the final turn. That seems pretty good. Oh, they've got Shang-Chi. Can Iron Lad win it for me here, though, still? It ties. Wow. Okay. Okay. They do have Shang-Chi in their deck. I missed that somehow in the first game, which is potentially also why they conceded. But I'm glad that we're seeing it now. I just kind of convinced myself my opponent did not have Shang-Chi. They definitely did. They had it the whole time. All right, well, Korgum. Reasonable curve here. Reality Stone again on turn 1. That's going to give us X Mansion this time. And Maze, I don't mind for Jeff, the baby land shark. Just debating Spider Ham. Like, Spider Ham, the sooner you hit Hulk, the better, but I think it's just better to run out Hulk early on when possible. Okay, and we both drift over into the mansion, and we're going to ham my opponent now. This battle's for priority, but I think we can probably lose priority at some point. Nice. We hit the Spider-Woman this time. And free cards are going to be Cerebro. Unlikely to be super relevant for me. And Falcon, pretty good for my opponent. We could see a snap here. So we're already winning in this location. I think I'll throw Rock Slide here. Darkhawk is, of course, going to steal the Cerebro bonus eventually. This could really help us. Okay, it's Super Flow. How that could really help us there is if it's like a negative location. Not quite going to be so lucky. So it looks like we will have priority going into the final turn. I'm also not super keen on this game in general right now. But the fact that we're retaining priority here, in all likelihood, also makes me less excited. I could have tried to lose priority. Oh, it looks like another Reality Stone. Well, that's kind of interesting for me, is now Vibranium Mines grows my Darkhawk even more. I don't think I needed that. Yeah, because Darkhawk's already kind of insane. But they have to play a card to X Mansion to win it. This is 6 more power here, so then I'm winning in the mines. I don't know, kind of feels like I'm just winning well overall. I could see, though, slightly deviating from this. And making a play that might be a little bit more surprising against an opposing Shang-Chi that still battles for wins in all 3 locations. Okay, my opponent also battled for wins in all 3 locations. Is 8 going to be enough in Aunt Maze? They did find the Chi. Misty Knight is probably going to be enough in the mines as well. No, it hits Rock! It hits Rock! Wow, wow, wow. Okay, that was surprising for me, to be totally honest. My opponent correctly predicted the Shang-Chi. I went with an offbeat pattern, but that's kind of why they expected it as well. And now we've got Zabu. Attilan. Alright, I like this. I like this hand in an Attilan game. And Attilan also helps to, I mean, it's gives them more chances to find Lockjaw. But it generally kind of keeps your deck big as well. Okay, finally a use for Super Scroll. Forgot about Soulstone. So what we really want is like Rock Slide, though I'd be interested in this as well. We can use Cosmo to basically shut off the stones in every location. However, they've played all the stones already. So they're probably going to drop Lockjaw here, should they draw it. We could Iron Lad, pre-shuffle. Super Scroll is also worth 6 points. So it's not crazy to just play Super Scroll here. Or play Rogue, which is arguably even more than 6 points because we steal Soulstone. Let's It's worth 4 just immediately on board. I don't think that's what I'm interested in doing just yet. Oh, it steals Soulstone and then it moves over and it ties in Asteroid M. It's actually a little bit more enticing. Could try to hit... You know what? I think I'm going to go for Iron Lad here and just hope to hit. But we're playing this one for 4 cubes, so this is a big one already. When it moves over Power Stone and plays Lockjaw plus Wasp into Asteroid M, that's going to get them a Thanos. And we find Sarah. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. It's going to be really easy to play my 3 cards each turn, but it's nice that we got him on the cheap. So Shang-Chi is definitely going to be interesting for Asteroid M on the final turn of the game. But for this turn, I'm going to play another Sarah, I think. I do have to fill Asteroid M at some point, which is awkward, but I think I can fill it up on the final turn. Let's continue to win in Nowhere and make sure we don't have priority going into the last turn of the game. If my opponent hits their Hulk into Asteroid M, that's good. If they hit Abomination, that we can kill. Oh, they've got Thing as well. Okay, so they're going to have a bunch of power in Asteroid M. Yeah, again, no reason to play anything. We'll be able to play whatever we draw next turn as well. With double Sarah plus Zabu. Alright. Let's pass, and then we'll see if we can do the math to win on the final turn. Reality Stone's going to change Asteroid M into the Vault. Oh, that is tragic. That is tragic. So now they know we can't Shang-Chi in Nowhere. So this is a pretty easy Shang-Chi for my opponent. And awkwardly... Oh, I maybe could have run out Spider-Ham last turn. Oh, that would have been good. Would have let me see if they had Hulk. But right now, this is my only play. I didn't draw Darkhawk, so this is a pretty easy retreat. Unfortunately, that ties it up. So now it is 6 apiece with 1 4-cuber. Only been 3 games so far, but... Unfortunate to have to give it back to my opponent there. This deck goes so heavy on the tech with Rogue and Super Scroll that sometimes it does just lack in power. Oh, that's right, we also had a tie, which means that we are already in high stakes mode. Elysium really good for my opponent, so I'm not going to snap even with the actual turn 1 Zabu. I got Soulstone, which we can scroll or Rogue. Probably planning on scrolling it, and then at some point we could see them use Reality Stone to kind of mess with us. Could see using Super Scroll just to get priority. We can Cosmo, and then we get to keep it in Elysium. Honestly, I feel like Elysium is bad for us, so I'm gonna let them Reality Stone Elysium if they'd like to. Alrighty, so we could play Darkhawk into Kiln and then Sarah there, and we could still win the location with Shang-Chi potentially. Winning the Kiln could be pretty good. We could also just play Super Scroll plus Sarah into Kiln, but then we lose to Spider-Woman, we lose to Thing. I think I'm going to play Darkhawk there. It limits their ability to have Shang-Chi be useful against me, as Shang-Chi only kills Darkhawk in this deck. So if they have Shang-Chi, it wins But I could still... I've got 2 steps to still draw Death. Oh, there's also Strange Academy. So playing things here is actually just fine, I think. We could just play Cosmo. Maybe that's better. Sure. Okay, I'll play Cosmo, lock in the anti-Shang-Chi play. Seems like they might have it here. Nope, Lockjaw plus Reality Stone on Elysium. Ooh, that's going to give me Vibranium Mines. Alright, so now all I have to do is tie in the Strange Academy. Cyclops not quite going to get it done. Space Stone means that they have to play to Vibranium Mines this turn. And I actually would not mind some Vibranium. This looks good for me. I'm going to snap here. If they skip... They could always get whatever they play into Strange Academy into the kiln this turn. Maybe I should have respected that. No, but if they play cards into Vibranium Mines, well, they're not planning on playing into Vibranium Mines. But if they don't play into Vibranium Mines, then I just win Vibranium Mines. Okay. I think there's a lot of ways this goes right. A lot of turn 5 Spider Ham draws, or like turn 6 Spider Ham plays are feeling a little bit awkward in this deck, but otherwise I am enjoying it. What's the card that we have not seen from my opponent? Wasp, Misty Knight, Okoye, Lockjaw, Cyclops. Oh, it's Abomination. Okay, so that's easy enough to remember. That they also have a 5/9 in their deck. Some synergy with Soulstone. They retreat to the snap, so we are up 6-4. Alrighty, alrighty. Very conservative plays from my opponent, to be sure. As we move into round 6. No Zabu just yet in this one. Nidavellir, quite good for my opponent. A snap could certainly get a retreat out of me. If my opponent wants to bring the pressure. Alright, Pet Mansion's going to mean that they have to dodge Nidavellir. It's a very, very slow hand. We do have Rogue for Soulstone. But without knowing where that is, I think I'm just going to run Rogue into Nidavellir. Ooh, Limbo. Okay, that is a game changer. So now I can pretty confidently just play Zabu, though I think it somewhat likely that we would just see a Reality Stone into Limbo now, so that's definitely something we're going to have to watch out for as well. Soulstone goes into the Mansion. That's pretty okay, because I can just dodge that location, or I can Rogue, and then I'm winning this location. Actually, it would be a tie. So I think I'm interested in Rock Sliding. Rogue to steal Soulstone, I think, will be a nice, cheeky way to flip some power on the final turn. I could also play for priority, so that way I can Cosmo into Limbo. Or I can just play Cosmo and Limbo right now. If I really want that additional turn to try to draw myself Dark Hawk and Shang-Chi. Nidavellir seems tough to win right now. Alright, I'm going to play Cosmo. Opponent hits me with the Cyclops, so I think I'm going to want to get Jeff out of the Pet Mansion at this point. Alright, we hit the Dark Hawk as well. I don't love... Yeah, let's just move Jeff out for another 7 power in Nidavellir, then we're winning that location. And let's just dodge Cyclops for as long as possible. Lockjaw plus Wasp, which is Cosmoed. Grabs my opponent Reality Stone, which is Cosmoed. I do have priority now. And I'm actually going to want to play cards this turn. Especially Rock Slide. I like playing more cards that have exactly 7 power into Nidavellir. And then I can use Iron Lad as a Shang-Chi if I don't draw Shang-Chi, or potentially as a Korg if I do. I can just play Rogue as 2 random power to fill up this location, or I can steal the Soul Stone. You know what? I think I'm just going to steal Soul Stone. I think that that's fine. My opponent potentially battling for priority here, which is interesting. Could have kept that as kind of a secret. Alright, Shang-Chi is going to be the draw, but I won't be able to Shang-Chi over in Limbo. But honestly, my opponent is not really doing too much. They do have Thanos active now, and they do have priority as well. Okay, well that bodes pretty well for me then. I can still play a large Darkhawk. Darkhawk's for 12. That beats likely... Yeah, that beats anything that they could play in this location. I could even throw Spider-Ham in there just to go a little bit over the top. And then you have to imagine... Yeah, this hits a rock as well. So Darkhawk is definitely over the top here. And if we just play like this, this seems pretty good to me. Let's send it. Alright, Space Stone. Even if this hits Hulk, we win this location. It hits Rock. So we might have committed too much power across the board, because we lose in Nidavellir. Do I lose in Pet Mansion? Oh, it's... I might lose in Pet Mansion here. Oh no. Abomination might have got me. My opponent dodges Shang-Chi, and I lose. Dang, I was not expecting them to play Abomination in Nidavellir. My opponent is really good at the Shang-Chi predictions. And now I just have to win the next 2 games. Dang. Yeah, if I just played Shang-Chi and Nidavellir, I guess I couldn't lose. So I got too fancy with it. And if I had played Iron Lad in Pet Mansion, I actually win that location. Yeah, okay, that was just poor play on my part then. We've got the Zabu to potentially salvage this one. But I think that that was a mistake. It's tough. We're waking up here, you know? First game of the day. First match of the day is an intense one, and it is a District X game. Let's go. X Games, baby. Alright, Zabu. I've got Iron Lad, which is totally random and funny. Turn 3 Iron Lad. We'll see what that does. Soulstone not going to do too much for my opponent. Oh wait, no, it still draws cards. Mind Stone would have been the bad one. But Soulstone still draws cards. It's not like it always draws a stone. And then we find Triskelion for even more stoning action. I like Wave Doctor Doom. Yeah, let's do that. This potentially gives my opponent some room to mess around with here too. But I think giving myself the opportunity to Doctor Doom is going to be good. We've also got Spectrum, which goes along with Rogue. And next turn I could Spider-Ham maybe, but it's a little bit awkward to Spider-Ham because I just let them cheat out Thanos. They know I can't Shang-Chi here. Okay, so now we're going to try to Juggernaut them back into the Crimson Cosmos, maybe? I don't want them to take over this location this turn. can't really mess with any of this stuff here now. Juggernaut might be a final turn play at this point. Puts a lot of power here. And then Iron Lad, next turn I'm playing Juggernaut plus Sentinel plus Wasp. It's not incredible. We're also giving my opponent away some free info here. They played 2 cards into the Triskelion. How's that going to work out for them? And what does Iron Lad give me? Lady Sif discarding Spectrum. It's fine because I didn't really want that anyways. Lizard, which we're going to poop on, and then Reality Stone from your island. Okay. I think this works for me. I think this works. Lady Sif is now the most power that I can add on the final turn. So that seems good. We're up by 7 here. So this puts me up by 11. Hopefully that's enough. Here, I'm currently up by 9. Oh, if I'm up by 9 here, then maybe this is where I battle. Currently up by 9, so they'd have to add 13 power into Muir Island, which is certainly possible. I'll just play the Wasp. It doesn't actually impact my power at all. But I think this is okay. Alright, we Juggernaut, which seems like they played a big card, and then we're going to Juggernaut it, maybe even into the Cosmos. No, we Juggernaut it into Muir Island. It has to be for 13 power, and it is. It's the Hulk for 18 power, and my opponent takes the match there with that, unfortunately. Yeah, I threw the last game, and that makes it a loss, and then District X did not give me enough tools to allow me to save myself in this final one. So that will be a loss here for round 1. Well played to my opponent, Demian DE. All right, so this is not what I was expecting, but due to a weird glitch in the system, round 1 was canceled. So we're going to get a second shot at round 1 here with a completely different opponent, completely different deck as well. This opponent is playing discard. So we're looking at Morbius, Wolverine, Swarm, Colleen Wing, Gambit, Dakin, Lady Sif, Dracula, Hellcow, MODOK, Apocalypse, and America. So we are really leaning on Cosmo in this matchup. Cosmo to stop MODOK will be good. Shang-Chi could potentially still snag an America or an APOC, though it is a little bit trickier. And Dakin we can also kill if we are able to... if Dakin is on a space where it's getting +1 power. So let's hop into it here and see how it goes. Oh, that was the last round's code. Let's see if it copies correctly this time. Great. Spider-Ham really, really good in this matchup. Glad I unlocked Spider-Ham last night, because that will always hit Apocalypse if they have it, and then they just straight up discard it. So it's a really surprising and powerful interaction. Cloning Vats. Super Scroll's not good. Rogue is good. We could actually just Cosmo multiple locations. That's probably good too. I'm trying to figure out if I want to play Jeff into Cloning Vats because I don't want to fill my hand up and not be able to draw other cards in the future, but I will run out the Jeff. That'll allow me to turn 5 play Cosmo plus Jeff, even if it does mean we lose another draw here along the way. Yeah, because we find Zabu or something. Alright, well now I think the plan is turn 4's Jeff plus Zabu, and we'll kind of dump our hand in that way a little bit. You know what? I'm going to snap to Cosmo on Cloning Vats plus the Zabu in hand. The Zabu might be a little bit slow, but we can play Zabu on turn 4 and then Zabu Cosmo again on turn 5. And then we can get into the big house with some cheap cards. Alright, now we won't be able to rogue their Morbius. So that part is a little bit awkward, but I think we just do this turn. Then, like I said, next turn we have Zabu plus Cosmo, and then we can Cosmo and Wakanda, and they can't play the 5-cost card on us. All right, they do have Apocalypse. My plan here now is to probably do this. I can't remember the name of the 5-cost guy. What's it called? MODOK. MODOK. So now we've totally stopped MODOK. Hopefully that's their play this turn. Looks like it is. This is a pretty telegraphed play from me. So a little bit surprised that they went for that, but I guess they just felt like they had to go for it. And now we can only Rock Slide over here. But that really stops a lot of what they're trying to do with their deck. So I think that probably just won it. A Dark Hawk right here, and then I feel like we're battling to win in all 3 locations right now. So maybe I just play Iron Lad here. I think this is probably a retreat from my opponent. We're adding 10 power to Wakanda for a total of 13. 10 power here. Could they potentially have something? Morb plus Hellcow? They can't play Hellcow into Big House. It's Gambit. Wolverine as well means that they win in the Big House, and then Colleen Wing is not quite going to cut it in the Cloning Vats. Okay, okay. They put out a pretty solid fight there. What could they have hit? Nah, there's nothing they could have hit to turn that around. They didn't need to hit anything here. Oh, I guess if, yeah, this Wakanda was really protecting us and they couldn't hit anything relevant enough here. Wait, is that true? 11? No, yeah. If they had hit Cosmo and then that allowed them to discard a card with Colleen Wing, they still lost by 1 in the center, so worked out, and we are up by some cubes, and I don't know if I want to waste Korg in Sinister London. I like the idea of hitting my opponent with some rocks right off the bat, because they are a combo deck. Korg is effectively a 4-power card. But it's like still a 4-power card if I play it here. Let's just play it center. If I have Zabu, I will snap. That's part of the reason I want to leave space in London for myself. Alright, that makes things a little bit slower for sure. Double Colleen. Yeah, my opponent can get some great value out of Sinister London before we find the Cosmo. And then Aunt May's is going to be location number 3. Could just grab an activation out of Aunt May's by throwing Rogue there. Yeah, this seems fine. If they have Morb, I don't know if they play it this turn regardless, but I'm really just playing this as a 3-5. Alright, does the second Morb land in Aunt May's? It does not. Okay. Unfortunate. We could have played Rogue anywhere else for some additional power. And now I think we actually might have enough time to still take this game in our favor. With Zabu into London. That'll let me play Darkhawk plus Rock Slide next turn. Alright, I like it. I'm not going to snap here, but I am going to drop the Darkhawk here. No Killmonger in my opponent's deck, so they are really just morbing out in order to get this, or Modocking out, rather. Wow, okay. So now I can just play Serra here, and then on the final turn I drop 3 things into London. The only awkward thing is that I don't want Darkhawk or Rock Slide to go in Grand Central. But I still think we play this here. Okay, Gambit is going to destroy some Zabus. It's going to pump up some Dakins. Just don't hit the other Zabu. Drat! Alright, hitting the other Zabu is actually a little bit annoying for me. Shang-Chi. Nice. Now this does really telegraph Shang-Chi to my opponent. The thing that I'm looking at here is this is 12, so 17 power I can put in Sinister London. I don't think that's enough. I don't know how Dakin was even that big either. I kind of... How did Dakin get so big? Anyways, this is 11, which isn't enough to win in Sinister London. This is 16, this is 21. Just loses to Chavez. Maybe can win. Alright, I'll try it for a cube here. They've got Chavez, plus they've got... Oh, they do have a free swarm. Okay, well, Darkhawk's center could have won this. Ah, man. No, it would have still lost. Okay, I should have just retreated there every time. I didn't realize Swarm was discarded somehow, even though I was looking right at it. So I didn't consider the math, and I just figured it was a 50-50 that Darkhawk had to land where Chavez landed. But it was slightly less than that. Alright, I should have retreated on that one. Still up by 2 cubes. Snap to Zabu. Machine World can also kind of gunk up my opponent by giving them cards that they don't really want to have to deal with discarding. Zabu is still a pretty reasonable card for my opponent. It discounts Hellcow and Dracula, both of which they haven't played yet. But it will be Zabu off curve. So I think that could be useful too. And I'm not playing Zabu into Danger Room, so Machine World it is. Serra into Machine World is also good and can potentially mess with my opponent. I'd love to draw Spider-Ham at any point here. What do they got for us here? Morb? Yeah. Danger Room? No Danger Room. So I think we're just going to rogue them as we curve out here. But I'm not entirely sure on that. Jotunheim, that means we're going to leave that location for the last turn of the game. Super Scroll, I can never play into Machine World. Rogue, I can never play into Machine World. Don't want to give them a Darkhawk either, so Rogue it is. Rogue it is. You know what would be fantastic? They get baited into playing my Zabu, and then we Super Scroll for another Zabu. That is what's going to happen. That's hilarious. Okay, we steal their Morb, and then they play Zabu, and it doesn't die. So now I can play a Super Scroll into Jotunheim. That'll be -1 power into Jotunheim. but still seems like it is pretty worth it. We just grabbed another Zabu for free. Next turn I'll play Sarah into Machine World, unless I want to try to just catch my opponent off with Cosmo. Super Scroll. Lady Sif discarding Apocalypse. So we have got no clue where they're going to play the MODOK. I'm not going to try to guess it. I'm just going to play Sarah. And then final turn of the game, I'll be able to probably dump most of my hand. Not all, but a pretty considerable amount here still. And I'm going to play Sarah into Machine World since it... Oh, it actually doesn't get discarded by MODOK here. So they just have a big Apocalypse this game. I don't even think that's that good. Okay, the Wolverine is pretty helpful for them, especially because I could always just lose this game in Danger Room. But all that they have right now is Chavez, Sarah, and Apocalypse. So that wins that location. This is going to be the spooky location here, so I'll commit some additional resources to it. It actually... I do want to win in Jotunheim. I'm currently down by 7. This is 5. Alright, yeah, maybe I play this and this there. If Darkhawk dies, it dies, I guess, right? No way to play around that. Let's just play Jeff here as well for 2 more points. Sure. Yep. Apocalypse, that's going to get Shang-Chi'd. And we're going to win every single location on this one. That's pretty awkward for my opponent, but what can you do? We're going to turn Chavez into a piggy before we go. I'm going to discard Apocalypse to get some additional power into my hand and play Jeff. So the one thing that final turn Spider-Ham does in this matchup is it means that my opponent doesn't get additional power from Dracula discarding Apocalypse on the final turn. But overall, looks like things are going pretty well. We've been able to win 2 4-cubers. Monster Metropolis is probably a location that we lose, though we do have Shang-Chi. So just a little bit of power there could potentially be helpful too. I'm just playing it more so that it doesn't land in Jotunheim or something. Okay, Elysium with Sarah. That's cool. If they morb, we have Rogue, and we've got Scroll. I love that my opponent fell for the bait last time of playing my Zabu that we gave them. That makes that a really fun one. We've got Shang-Chi. They don't. Probably makes this one snap-worthy. We also have priority here, so I get to just run out Spider-Ham. Next turn, I get to play a turn 4 Sarah. All of that seems really good. Spider-Ham is going to turn MODOK into, I believe, a 3/8, which is really interesting. Could also Shang-Chi Dakin. I'll drop Sarah this turn. Opponent currently with priority. We'll see how long we can keep them with that. They'll probably play something to Monster Island. We don't need to play anything to Monster Island because we literally just win it with Shang-Chi. Yep, there's the piggy. What's a little bit interesting is if they find a way to discard the Murumasa Shard this turn. These are both at 8, aka 11, and we can double Shang-Chi there, which seems pretty spicy. Let's just do this. Just Zabu should be good enough here. I think we'll be able to play everything next turn. Rock into the Metropolis, that's good. They discard Dracula, and they discard the Murumasa Shard. If got one card in hand, and then they're going to draw Chavez. So this simply seems too good. This also seems pretty reasonable. I think that they'll potentially play Chavez to the Monster Island. This beats Chavez, though. How much is this? This is 10, which beats their 8. Just barely beats them, which is something that I always like to do. And I'll drop Iron Lad, maybe? Sure. Alright, so they do win in Elysium, but Swarm is not going to be enough to win them the Metropolis, as we take out Dakin plus Piggy Modoc. Then we'll take out Morb. And we'll also win in Monster Island there. GG. But, yeah, we were able to get it done there with some creative Shang-Chiing. And, I don't know, no real big takeaways, just strong deck doing its thing. All right, round 2, aka the third match that we're playing, is about to start off. And I'm playing up against a Galactus list in this one. Kind of an interesting Galactus list. I'll read it off here. Deadpool, which is, I think, the most atypical card. Nova, Carnage, Wolverine, Venom, Wave, Deathlock, Shang-Chi, Nimrod, Null, Galactus, Death. So it's a Wave Galactus list. I think that waving out a Galactus is a pretty good strategy compared to Electro, which gives your opponent a lot more time to set up and beat you in the lane that you are trying to Galactus in. And then it's also kind of like a Deadpool list. And then, of course, it has Nimrod for the potential of a turn 6 Galactus. Shang-Chi, Null, and Death are all ways that it can win post-Galactus, though it can also weave in a Deadpool in some of those scenarios. And then it's just like a Destroy deck otherwise, with Carnage, Venom, and Deathlock for the early game, with Nimrod as an option, but notably no Shuri for the Nimrod or for any of the other weird interactions going on that I've been playing recently with Nimrod. So a little bit more straightforward. I think that Cosmo is going to be a pretty good card for us. And we'll see how we can do here with our Zabu beater deck. Now, like, 20-odd% of the participants in this tournament are playing Zabu. Unfortunately, we just haven't been up against them. Savage Land is not going to be a Galactus location. Spider-Ham and Cosmo are going to give us a lot of options. Now, Savage Land means that they can play a big Carnage, so that will be something to watch out for. But let's start with Korg, and then we can Cosmo here and Iron Lad center, and then my opponent has no space for a Galactus. I think turn 2 Jeff makes a lot of sense. It also makes some sense to Spider-Ham their Null, or actually Spider-Ham always hits Death, right? So Spider-Ham their Death before they get any discounts there. Yeah, that seems good to me. Let's just go Spider-Ham here. I think that's going to be pretty good. We just take their Null out completely. I think that's going to be a strong interaction throughout this matchup. Tinker's Workshop gives us both 4 energy this turn. Super Scroll, by the way, also going to be really good at stopping Nulls, though now that we've pigged the Null, it's less relevant. I'm somewhat tempted here to Cosmo into the Muir Island. Notably no Killmonger in my opponent's deck right now either. I think they're going to save their on-reveal cards for the final turn of the game at this point. So I'm just going to play Iron Lad into Tinker's Workshop. Okay, maybe they play a Carnage or a Venom here. That's fine. They do have Shang-Chi, so they do have the means to upset my Iron Lad or my Dark Hawk, but they can't grab both of them. We've stopped Galactus at this point. Yeah, I think we're most likely to see some sort of setup. But we really just have to drop Cosmo wherever we think they're going to play Nimrod, which I believe is going to be in Muir Island. So let's play... We could also Cosmo to protect our big Iron Lad. Just play Darkhawk for right now. I think I actually want to retain priority for the Cosmo of it all. And I actually go for the turn 4 Venom. This really makes me feel like my opponent does not have too much else going on here. I'm pretty interested in Cosmoing the Iron Lad, but maybe I could Cosmo... No, let's just Cosmo the Iron Lad, I think. And then play Zabu center. It's not super likely to be relevant. Shang-Chi allows us to win in Muir Island, but I don't want to fill up Savage Land too quick here either. So I think this is my play. 5 energy. What have they played this turn? Just Nimrod over here. Huh. Well, we didn't hit the Shang-Chi. Of course, they don't know about that, but I still don't love my position right now. My opponent has destroyed 4 cards, so they can play Death for 12. It's probably not enough that they ever win in the Tinker's Workshop. The problem is I can't win either of these other 2 locations, actually. So I think we're just going to slow retreat and give my opponent 1 cube. We didn't have Shang-Chi. We maybe could have snapped to pressure them off or something. If we had drawn Rock Slide or Shang-Chi on the final turn, that could have been interesting. I still don't mind the Iron Lad run out because it gave us a lot of power and potentially stopped Galactus. Alright, I think there's enough power in this one. Bar Sinister is scary against my opponent's deck, especially if they are patient with it. It'll be hard to beat a Venom in that location, but the plan is for me to use Bar Sinister to play Rock Slide and give my opponent a ton of rocks. They play Nova Center. We could Cosmo in 2 locations. Yeah, Cloning Vats is also really good for my opponent, so I think we will be using Cosmo there. Drop Cosmo here. Next turn I get to play Jeff into Bar Sinister plus the another copy of Zabu, if that's what I want to do. Maybe I actually just want to play a Spider-Ham here, just to get some disruption on the board. It's not crazy either. Alright, let's play some disruption here. Then I'm going to start playing Dark Hawks and things. Taking out Cloning Vats is a potential location for my opponent. We do have to watch if we Shang-Chi too much, then... Or if we Cosmo too much, then we never get to Shang-Chi anywhere. So they don't have Carnage or Venom, but we could see them play like Deadpool plus Deathlock. into Bar Sinister. That could be a pretty crazy play. I really like the Darkhawk here and in Wakandan Embassy. Do I want to just Shang-Chi this turn? I'm trying to think of the upsides and downsides of doing so. No, I think we want to let my opponent have priority. Iron Lad could potentially, but I think I'm going to Korg into Bar Sinister. Is this ever bad? That's fine. Okay, Death means Shang-Chi is a win into Cloning Vats. And they just grab another copy of Deadpool. We're currently winning in Cloning Vats, which is actually kind of cool. We could go Korg for 3 rocks, Shang-Chi to win the location, Darkhawk for an additional 8, 14 for an additional 14 here in Cloning Vats. I think this is good. This is big, a lot of power right here, all now at once. Is there any reason not to just grab an additional rock here, though? And just play it like this? My opponent with priority. And we took out their null, right? So we did take out their null, didn't we? Maybe that was last game? All right, another Deadpool center. We actually beat that. No, we took out their Nimrod. But we're still going to have the power to win in the Embassy and in the Cloning Vats with Darkhawk beating Deadpool. Okay, this is my first day playing with Spider-Ham, so a little awkward. Couldn't remember exactly what I hammed, but it is still going to be enough. We take my opponent for 8 cubes there, and that's going to really free up some headspace and some mental in the second, I'll say second half of this matchup, but yeah, it's more or less over 9-2. It's going to take a lot for my opponent to claw back into this one. Zabu Darkhawk. We're going to put the pressure on. We're snapping here. Crimson Cosmos. Not going to be super easy for me to influence. My opponent snaps back. Best of luck, Mako. Gotta do it. They've got the Nova. Oh, weird. Pig showing up on the tracker. That is really, really silly. I've never seen that before. Camp Lehigh gives me Deathlock. Also funny. I'll play Zabu into Lehigh. Opponent's going to play a Wolverine into that location. Death's Domain. A pretty good card for my opponent's deck. And I can't battle in the Cosmos. So I'm really gonna need Jeff. Maybe this gives me Jeff. Or do I... Yeah, I can't play Jeff on the final turn regardless, so I guess I do this. Okay, Nakia was their Lehigh card. Okay, that's going to shut off a lot of avenues for my opponent as well. Huh. I could actually win this game off differential if my opponent is unable to do anything. So I think next turn I'm playing Serra into Crimson Cosmos, and then the final turn I'm playing like Darkhawk Deathlock into Camp Lehigh. Which means this turn I really am just free to play Korg Spiderham as Disruption. Trying to think if it's worth it to play Darkhawk here, but I think I just go for Disruption. My opponent has a 4-cost card into Death's Domain. What could that be? Do they have another Destroy card that I'm missing? And what was that? Oh, Deadpool, sure. What was that? That was 13 power. Oh, that was Death. That was Death. So I'm not sure if Death is now uncastable. But I've also made this awkward for myself because I found Jeff this turn. So now I think I just do like this. Hope to draw maybe Rock Slide off the top. Move Jeff into Death's Domain. This is Nimrod, which I haven't been afraid of. We knew we were going to lose in the Cosmos. And we draw the Rock Slide. So now I just do this. I beat Galactus. I probably lose to Null. That's regrettable. Yeah, I think I just lose to Null here. Nothing I can do about that. I think I still play Rock Slide. It's actually -1 power against a Null, but what can you do? Oh, they go for Galactus, so we win with Jeff the Baby Landshark. Oh, wait, no. We lose because of Nimrod. What am I saying? I thought we beat Galactus here for some crazy reason. Nope, Death's Domain just does me dirty. In fact. Indeed. Alright, taste some rocks here, my friend. But also taste some victory. They're going to grab it for 2 cubes, and now it's 7-2. They still have to win the next 4 games. Assuming we don't retreat one from a poor snap otherwise. I don't know if I want to snap and put the pressure on right this second. I can always wait one more turn, I think. Spiderham is good against them. Another Death's Domain. Dang. So I want to Spiderham and take out their Galactus, but Death kind of prevents that. So that's why Death is always so interesting in Galactus lists. The longer we wait, the more likely it is that they have Galactus, but also more likely it is that they have Death. So I'm just going to play turn 2 Spiderham. We'll snap if we are able to take the Galactus from them. Wolverine landing in Death's Domain could also be really bad for my opponent, but it's fine. Alright, we tie it up here, and we take out Null. So it's not exactly what I wanted. Alright, well, Aunt May's on Darkhawk could actually upend a lot of my opponent's plans here. Fortunately, I'm playing nothing this turn. Okay. So if they have the G-Man into Death's Domain, there's nothing we can do about it. Other than retreat and only allow my opponent to steal 1 cube, though 1 cube's just as good. Yeah, this never helps me. if they have the Galactus and Death's Domain. Looks like they do. Oh, they're playing Nimrod, and it lands into Lemuria, so they still have Death's Domain open. That's crazy. Does this go into Death's Domain for me? 50-50? It does. So now they can't Galactus into Death's Domain. And I feel pretty okay right now because of that. Because they can't Galactus here. They could start playing some Destroy cards, and that would get me off the other angle, of course. I will still have Shang-Chi on the final turn to win one location. I don't know how I possibly win the other location, considering we super scrolled their null. But I'm going to play Sarah into Ant Maze and accept the 1 cube here. Alright, it's Venom, Carnage from my opponent. But that gives them nothing in Death's Domain, actually. So that might have been a mistake from them. Oh, they played Deadpool in Death's Domain. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, here's what we still have going for us then. Shang-Chi on Venom. And then potentially just grabbing a win in Ant Maze. Seems tough, but not impossible. And we're already in for a penny, in for a pound here, adding 17 to Ant Maze. Yeah, we gotta hope that this does something. They've got Death for Ant Maze, Deadpool for Lemuria. I think we can win this. Can I beat 21? Oh, this is going to be really, really close. 9 plus 12. Is this a tie? It's a tie, and then I lose on differential just barely. Wow. Okay, really, really close one there. Unfortunate. If I was able to weave in... No, I didn't have enough energy cheat to really do anything meaningful there. So now it's 5-2. As we move into Game 7. Was there a different way for me to win? I don't believe so, because... Yeah, I don't think there was ever a way that I win that one. We've got Spider-Ham again. Rogue is really spicy if it comes down to it and my opponent has priority and we let them Galactus. Okay, so they're probably going to ignore Mojo World, because that's a very tough location for Galactus to win. Spider-Ham, we actually just want to hit Death here because we have an answer to Galactus Null. I'm going to play Spider-Ham into Mojo World, see what happens. We hit Galactus. Okay. So now they've got access to a 6-7. Haven't drawn any of my 4-cost cards just yet. My opponent has not played anything, though. Jeff in Mojo World. Pretty basic play here, and then... Gonna play Sarah. Huh. My opponent has a lot of potential to pull a bunch of power out of their arse on the final turn. Nimrod plays, and they're holding on to their destruction cards in this game for a big Nimrod play by the looks of it. So what we really want to draw is Cosmo. And then I guess I actually want to grab priority. This just has to be Nimrod, though. I don't think this is ever anything super exciting. Rogue and Super Scroll is a nice hedge, because now if I miss with the Rogue. I think I'm going to play Serra here because I think I want priority. Because I think their most likely playline... I guess Null actually doesn't do anything. So their only playline here really is Nimrod. So I'm going to play Serra looking for priority to try to Cosmo or Iron Lad into Nimrod next turn. And we will have priority to do so. So now I just have to hope that Iron Lad hits the 1 and 3 here. And then otherwise, there's nothing else we got going on in the icebox. We could maybe tie this game and win on differential. Doesn't seem super likely. But I think I stay in for... Well, yeah. I mean, there's no way I'm retreating. The game's over. So let's just play it out here. Iron Lad, Cosmo, please. There we go. That's a win, baby. All right, we hit the 1 and 3. Easy peasy. That stops the Venom. They had Rock plus Wolverine. That wasn't going to cut it in Mojo World, though they were looking to win Necrotia. They lose in the Icebox in pretty close fashion. I mean, we knew we were going to get them there with the Cosmo, but yeah, that was a pretty close one. Well played by my opponent to try to mount a comeback, but that 8-cube victory was just too much for them to catch up with. Alrighty, so round 3, we are up against a Surfer deck. Still not too much as far as Zabu mirrors are concerned. We're looking at Nova, Mirage, Brood Magic, Silver Surfer, Storm Juggernaut, Killmonger, Dakin, Polaris, Shang-Chi, Absorbing Man. So a little bit of the kind of lockout style of Silver Surfer with Dakin mixed in, and then Absorbing Man, Brood combo, which is kind of a high roll, but also probably just good in the deck now. And yeah, Killmonger is obviously good with Dakin. Shang-Chi on the final turn, but no real way to cheat it out. I guess they have Magic to grab an additional turn, and I don't have any way to interact with Magic in my list. So that could mean that Magic is able to get me. My opponent has a little bit more ways to control locations with both Magic and Storm. Juggernaut is good, not great. And we can shut it off still with movement cards and with Cosmo, potentially. We've got the code from my opponent here, so let's join in and give them a good luck, have fun for our round 3 battle. Once again, their deck list is Nova, Mirage, which will be an interesting one to be up against. Brood, Magic, Silver Surfer, Storm, Juggernaut, Killmonger, Dakin, Polaris, Shang-Chi, Absorbing Man. No early game plays with a Nova for my opponent. I don't think that you ever have to play Nova. Vibranium Mines is good. We can Spider Ham and take out either Absorbing Man or Shang-Chi, maybe one of their better cards, potentially. And I'm going to ham it up into... You know what? I'm going to play this in Strange. Alright, they get the Mirage, so that steals Cosmo, and we take out Shang-Chi. So, Cosmo's done for a number of reasons. New York is going to be hard to contend with, as Strange Academy is going to move a lot of things over into there. But I'm just going to curve out to start this game off. Then we've got Rock Slide into Serra with Darkhawk Iron Lad on the final turn of the game. This seems like it can be pretty feasible here. Dakin, gets to get off before Cosmo flips. So my opponent with priority is a little bit awkward because it could spell awkwardness for Rock Slide trying to come down, though I don't know if my opponent will want to play that Cosmo. It is a 3/5, which importantly buffs up Silver Surfer, or gets buffed up by Silver Surfer. So it's good synergy. I'm just not totally convinced they'll want to do it. They definitely don't want to play into Vibranium Mines, though, so maybe I just drop Rock Slide here, because I have the plays that I'm planning on making for the rest of the game. So let's just play Rock Slide here. I think that's safe enough. No. Okay, they did play center, but they're going to magic to get rid of Vibranium Mines. That also really hurts my Darkhawk. And the Murumasa Shard. Alrighty. So now I'm just going to play Sarah into Limbos, and things are going to move around with Strange Academy. This game doesn't seem great for me off the rip. And Cosmo, will there be a double Cosmode location? No. Limbo is fully Cosmode. And I do have the potential means to win in Limbo. Actually, they could move Cosmo out of Limbo into New York. That's kind of interesting too. But there's definitely no Cosmo here, so I can Iron Lad and either hit Zabu or maybe Korg. I can move... Do they have any other ongoing effects? Not really. Oh, but if I super scroll here, then there's no Cosmo locations. Unless they open up Limbo, which is definitely a possibility. But I think they might want double Cosmo here. It's awkward that they have priority, but I think triple Cosmo across the board is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to keep it exactly like this otherwise. All right. So they do get Juggernaut, which moves my Cosmo out and bricks me in Limbo, plus Killmonger to destroy the Shard and Nova. So they've got a big Dakin, which is protected by Cosmo in multiple ways. Iron Lad gets stopped in New York. We are winning in Iron Lad's New York, but I don't love it. I don't love it for sure. So Darkhawk is for 8. I just cannot win Limbo. That's going to make it really tough for me because my opponent is going to be able to play around the fact that they probably can win Strange Academy. Even if I do this, I think this is still quite beatable. It's 12 power. All they really have to do is play Silver Surfer and they win Strange Academy. So I think I've got to retreat, unfortunately. Yeah, I knew Magic was going to be the problem card in this matchup. It really throws off my math of Sarah being able to dump more power than my opponent. Now, that was also a Zabu-less game. In this game, I have Zabu. And I've got Cloning Vats. That's going to give me some additional power on the 7th turn as well, assuming that they don't use Cloning Vats there. Right, you actually do want to play Nova on turn 1 with this deck, so that way turn 4 you can play the Murumasa Shard. Alright, I'm going to drop Zabu. They might have Mirage for me to steal my Spider-Ham. Okay, so Spider-Ham now gets rid of Sarah, but I think that that's okay. The bigger problem in this game is I don't have any way to interact with Crimson Cosmos. My opponent can Shang-Chi or Absorbing Man there. I need to find Jeff or Iron Lad Jeff. I think I'll play one Zabu in New York just because we have to worry about Magic and Storm. Alright, we're getting piggied here. That makes sense. Goodbye, Sarah. Definitely want to play this cheap Iron Lad, and then I think I'm just going to ham it up in New York. I could see playing multiple Spider Hams. Oh, they're going to play multiple Spider Hams too, just for the tempo of it. Our Spider Hams are a little bit more likely to be disruptive to them. This is really all I can do for now. Okay, and they are just playing a naked Shang-Chi, and then we get to get him. So now I think we can snap. The fact that they used up their Shang-Chi and they lost their Juggernaut. Yeah. Okay. If I knew my opponent was going to run out naked Shang-Chi into Crimson Cosmos, I would have snapped, but we did have to find the Jeff as well. But we did. Okay, White Hot Room. Kinda cool, but a little spooky too. Get to go to Zabu Rock Slide. Oh, Bar Sinister. I might be throwing a bunch of rocks into their deck with Bar Sinister. That is always a lot of fun. Do I snap to turn 2 Zabu? I think so. Trying to do the math real quick. 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 is 20. So a Silver Surfer in Bar Sinister ties with a Rock Slide. But then we probably lose all other locations. Well, that's a little spooky now. I could probably see them storming in Lechugia to try to get under our noses there. Maybe I just do try to win in White Hot Room and potentially look to play like Cosmo or something. Okay, Magic and White Hot Room. That's fine, because I didn't actually think I wanted to fill this location. Bar Sinister for Korg, also not really what I'm looking for. Feel like we haven't drawn super hot, and this game's going to be a little bit long to punish me here too. I really need to draw Cosmo. Jeff for Bar Sinister would also be a really big hit. I don't want to play into Lechugia. I'm just going to play Super Scroll for, like, no real value. And Korg, I think I can weave in on the final turn regardless. Is this a Storm? It's a Dakin. Okay. Yeah, Storm would have been bold there, I think. So now I think I awkwardly have to play into Lechugia. It's gonna hurt my deck a little bit here, but I just don't want to fill the bar just yet. And I actually want to battle for priority for Cosmo. But I am not loving my position this game. They are going to battle for Bar Sinister, which is Muru Masashard plus Killmonger. Oh, that gets nasty. Okay, well, we can Killmonger, or we can Shang-Chi the Dakin. That's fine. It's a lot of resources into Limbo, but if we draw Darkhawk, we draw Jeff. It's a little bit slow on the Jeff, and it means that my Cosmo isn't going to be doing anything here. The play that I probably like the most is to keep my opponent honest with Korg and then just drop a few more bits of power here. Oh wait, this is turn 6. Oh, why do I think they're gonna storm me this turn? Oh, that's annoying. If I Shang-Chi, then I can Cosmo the Silver Surfer. Oh, you know what else I can do for priority? This kind of battles for priority nicely. Do I also just play this? No, that's too many cards in the center, then I can't move out all the Jeffs. Alright, we just have to hope they aren't storming me here. They're not. Okay, good. Mirage steals my Korg. That is totally nothing, and I have priority going into the final turn, which is what I wanted. So now I can play Cosmo with priority, Shang-Chi to kill, Dakin with priority, and yeah, I'm just gonna fill this location with a bunch of Cosmos, and we get it for 2 cubes. Okay, okay. Neither of us really had anything going on. I mean, it's hard to say my opponent didn't have anything going on when they've got 69 power over here, but still felt a little bit lackluster, and I think what was scary about that game is my opponent didn't know that I didn't have, like, the Dark Hawk and stuff like that. It looks like a turn 1 Jeffrey, which I don't love revealing the Jeff turn 1 because then we don't have it as, like, a sneak attack into Storm, but I'm still just going to drop Jeff on turn 1 here. I will probably just Korg. I don't really have a great reason not to. I think that we'll be able to lose priority in that location regardless. Alright, no plays yet from my opponent. Cloning Vat's a little bit awkward here for me. Could see a magic into Cloning Vats. No Dakin into Cloning Vats. Okay, that makes a lot of sense too. My opponent still has the potential to generate a lot of power right now. And they're going to snap. Well, the thing about that snap is we do have Shang-Chi for the double Dakin. I've got Sarah into Shang-Chi Darkhawk. Just actually deciding between Darkhawk or just Iron Lad into Cloning Vats. But I think Darkhawk is kind of free. It's 10 power as opposed to Iron Lad. And I actually don't want to hit Cosmo in Cloning Vats, so let's do it up here for 2 cubes. My opponent's going to separate their Dakin, which makes a lot of sense. And then I draw the Rock Slide. Now, do I want priority? No, I actively don't really want priority. It's not a great way to toss it. Guess I could plan on making a bunch of power in this Cloning Vats and then Shang-Chiing over here. Now let's drop Sarah, see what happens. I don't think they're going to Murumasa and Killmonger this turn, but I think they might take priority accidentally. Magic into Cloning Vats. That's pretty good for me. That makes me pretty happy that I made an additional copy of both Darkhawk and Sarah. Because now I do have priority this turn right now. But I can kind of mitigate that by continuing to play Sarah right here. The only other thing I can do this turn is play Cosmo, and then next turn I will have 7 energy. I'll be able to play 3 of these cards, plus maybe Zabu or Spider-Ham off the top. So that's going to be Darkhawk, Rockslide, Shang-Chi. I think this is an alright play. Let's see if we're able to toss priority or not. My opponent can very easily just keep me with priority here. Okay, they take out my Shang-Chi, but that means that they have priority. So now if they want to play Killmonger, they lose this Dakin. I can give them another Darkhawk. Potentially just here. And then Rockslide, Spider-Ham. You know what? I think I actually like Spider-Ham here. And I'll just keep Jeff right here. I think that this is fine. Maybe I shouldn't be running Rockslide into this location because it loses to Silver Surfer. They have Silver Surfer for +6. They go up to 15. So I could do this. That ties here currently, loses to Silver Surfer as well. Winning in Metropolis. I think they might just give me Metropolis, but I think I'm still going to battle for it. This beats just Silver Surfer for 16 total power. Yeah. Silver Surfer. Not what I was expecting. Really well played by my opponent there to play around Shang-Chi. And I think, yeah, I just wound up barely overthinking myself. I lose in these 2 locations. I thought about just giving up the Monster Metropolis, and I voiced it, but I didn't go through with it. I would have put Darkhawk here and otherwise made the same plays, but well played by my opponent to play around the Shang-Chi. It's a little bit telegraphed here, obviously, and my opponent knew what they had to do. Similar mistake that I ran into round 1 of the event, where basically just playing too obvious with the Shang-Chis. I've got Zabu and Sarah. That really does feel like a snap, and Cosmo. We're going to snap here right off the rip and see if we can earn back some cubies. The interesting thing, if my opponent accepts this snap, we are then probably playing out the full game. Ooh, Nova in Lake Hellas. That's funny. Oh, Lemuria stinks. Korg's okay, though. Turn 2 play, probably Mirage for Korg. Can make them take Cosmo. I'm just going to play Sarah into the compound here, I believe. I don't really want to just let them kill the Korg when it's this much additional power. But I don't really want to give them a free Korg from Mirage either. So let's just do this, give them a Cosmo. They can't do nearly as much with that. We get Cosmo, and Compound turns into Limbo. Take out Absorbing Man, which is a pretty good hit. Now I don't have to worry about that. Rogue doesn't really interact. I think I'm interested in grabbing priority temporarily. I don't have Shang-Chi. I'm actually not super hype on where this game is currently. That's really good, that mobility. I think I will probably just play Sarah. I think I want priority now so that we can Cosmo multiple locations. I feel like that's going to be good for me. So do I Sarah here to keep battling for priority? I don't think so, because this location's kind of gunked up right now. So let's just play Sarah here. Is this Dakin? No, it's Brood. Ooh, that would have been a reasonable one. Okay, well now I can Cosmo every location. Just trying to think about, do I want to keep this a secret, or do I just want to run it out there so that we don't have to deal with it? It means I won't be able to Rock Slide or Shang-Chi, but I think it really limits my opponent's power potential here. Awkwardly kind of giving away a lot of info about what's in my hand, but let's just run out the Cosmos this turn. Hope that they don't play Silver Surfer. They're storming in Limbo. Oh, so this game's over and they've beaten me with Silver Surfer already. Dang, the surprising magic trick is actually going to get it done here, and my opponent gets me for 5 cubes. Unfortunate. I think that we could have played that last one a little bit better, but that's my weakness, my own Shang-Chi and my hubris. So that will now make me 2-1 in this tournament. Definitely still in it, because that first round did not count, and we'll see. This video is already super long, so I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna break this up into 2 parts, and part 2 will be out tomorrow with the next 4 rounds of the event. A lot of content to get through, so stay tuned.